how much he can absorb of this offense in a very short period of time is going to dictate how much playing time he gets on Sunday. But I don't think there's any doubt he's going to be out there.
All right, guys, we've covered that game pretty much sufficiently, so I think it's time to do it. Well, we've waited all season to do this, and no fan has actually been brave enough to be on the show and actually do this. So this is actually a gift I think we're getting. So it's time for our first ever Voice of the Enemy. And joining us today is not an enemy. He's our boss. So he's pretty much a good friend to all of us here at NGSU Sports. He's responsible for all of this. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ralph Garcia. Ralph, how you doing, buddy?
It's a pleasure to be on the show. I've been waiting to be on the show, the FlyingElvisFaithful. Faith.
Well, Ralph, it's a pleasure to have you on, and maybe not so much of a pleasure of the topic that you're going to be talking about, the 3-10 Tennessee Titans. So I know you're down there in Nashville, or Nashville proper at least. So first of all, I want to know your impressions of the Titans, even though I know where I'm going with this question. What is there to actually look for when the Titans are actually going for their fourth win?
It's been a real bad time here in Tennessee because, I don't know, John, I'm going to put it mildly, like I know how. The Titans suck, and I mean, they suck something very special. Now, you have a quarterback in Marcus Mariota that's something, and by the way, for all of us listening out there, and all of you listening to the FlyingElvisFaithful, it's Marcus Mariota. I know a lot of people get it wrong here, and it's a big stink.
You mean it's not Mariota?
No, it's Mariota.
Okay.
Mariota. And
yeah, because Roger Goodell made that mistake.
It's a big stink down here because everybody got to have something to talk about since there's nothing to talk about when you talk about the team. And talking about the team, you've got Mariota. Now, you've got a franchise quarterback right there, and the big question was he going to be the number 2 pick? First and foremost, everybody just about knew Winston would be number 1. So Mariota comes here to Nashville to the Titans at number 2. What do the Titans have to offer? Forget the New England Patriots game, because the only thing that we're concerned about here in Nashville is how many touchdowns Tom Brady's going to throw. Because they talk about Brady not having receivers all year long. Well, this is one of those games that Brady's not going to have to worry about. His receivers can be half awake and they'll be just fine, because this is a secondary in Tennessee that depleted by injury. And by the way, even if they weren't depleted by injury, we're playing sorry-ass defense anyway in the secondary. And now they got a bunch of makeshift guys in there. The veterans like Michael Griffin that are there aren't doing anything either, by the way. You've got a linebacking core that, well, we'll figure out who's where. You've got a couple of guys that are a bright spot. Jarrell Casey is the only thing that happens on defense for the Tennessee Titans. You know, it was a play the other day, last game here, where he hustled in a play there was no way he was going to make it, but he didn't care because he's going to play hard every game. This is a team that doesn't know how to play hard, doesn't have the desire to play hard, doesn't care to play hard, doesn't have a leader, doesn't have an identity, doesn't know where they want to go. They all talk about where they want to be, but nobody's doing anything to get there. As far as the offense is concerned, you can have a franchise quarterback all day. People say, well, Tom Brady's doing so much with hold on a second. It's Tom Brady. I mean, seriously? How are you going to even compare a quarterback in the NFL to Tom Brady? What are you going to do, Peyton Manning? I don't even need to talk about that right now. Tom Brady. Next, who? Rodgers? His legacy, Brady. You don't compare. This kid has no running game. He's got no receivers to throw to. You got people complaining that he can't make throws, that he can't do that. This kid is special, but he's got nothing here. And this organization, people don't know if it's going to be sold, what's going to happen, who's going to have it, who's going to be the general manager. Is the general manager even going to be here? He takes a lot of slack. Rustin Webster has made pick after pick after pick after pick, and you can go ahead and give me 1 or 2 that are good, but all in all, the picks suck too, like the team. They don't work out. You can't make second-round pick after second-round pick after second-round pick, and nothing comes of it. Nothing. Bishop Sankey's sitting on the bench. You know why? Bishop Sankey shouldn't be playing in the NFL. That's why. But he was picked in the second round by the Tennessee Titans. We can keep going through that list over and over again. What do you have? A tight end, a guy named Supernob that he thinks half the time a football field is in MMA ring. Wasteless. Guys, I can go on and on and on. The sad part about it is I got to ask you experts on the Patriots up there, how bad is it really going to be? Because I tell you right now, people, is this game, I didn't even remember. Is it up there with you guys? Is it up there in New England, John?
Yes, it is. I think the Patriots, the early line was they were 10-point favorites.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That line should be 18.
It may be by the time we get to, say, the end of the week, or maybe by the time we get to Saturday, but the early one was 10.
Who else is with it? Josh here, too?
I am here, yes.
Now, I'll ask you. You seriously really think the Titans have any chance? Forget the win. I didn't say nothing about a win because they're not going to win. You have any chance to even make this competitive within the first 10 minutes of the game?
I would say no, because we have a history with Tennessee and New England, and it hasn't been pretty for the Titans throughout history. So I would have to. I'm pretty confident New England's probably going to try to score as many points as they can this week.
Thank God. Hey, there's no blizzard forecast, is it?
No. But last time that happened, it wasn't
here.
good.
No, there is not. That's not to be anticipated. No.
No. Thank God, because it would be a whole lot worse. If the more snow, the worse it is. The worse it would be for Tennessee. They'll just go right back into a nightmare, even though they didn't play in that game. I mean, it's a bad situation here. It's a situation that's got to be fixed quick. You got to remember, guys, this is a franchise that came from Houston, landed here, and tell you real quick on my history. Of course, I'm from the New York area. Got down here to Tennessee nearly 30 years ago. Moved to Nashville about nearly 25 years ago now, and there was no pro sports here. This was not a mecca like it is, a little mecca like it is now for tourism and all kinds of attractions. There was no big things going on here. Then the Titans came, and you guys know the history. They came in '99. McNair, George, Wycheck, Bishop. I can continue. It was something. It was incredible. And then they won, and they came up a yard short of maybe hoping to go into overtime to win a Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, it's been bad, and it's gotten worse. Because you think, look, the New England Patriots. Say what you want about Bill Belichick. You call Tom Brady a liar, a cheater, a scumbag. Call him what you want. These guys are champions. They win. It doesn't matter who plays there. It doesn't matter who doesn't. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup. It's like a baseball game with these guys. They just substitute guys in. Okay, 6th inning, just put in the relief pitcher. 7th inning, just bring somebody in at first base. It doesn't even matter. And that's something that you can't think about down here. It's bad. This is a really bad football team. And I just got started.
Okay, Ralph, the coaching change obviously didn't do much good for this team, but what has it done to the star quarterback?
See, that's another thing. You got a kid who's been winning his whole life. And remember that when Marcus Mariota came into the NFL, the biggest thing about him coming to the Titans, the NFL and the Titans, was could he play from the pocket? He played from the shotgun his entire career. He plays in an up-tempo offense in college. He runs like crazy. It's a system that still proven does not work in the National Football League. Somebody asked the head coach in Philadelphia, but I ain't going to talk about that right now. But what happens with Mariota is, one thing you got to give this kid. He has proven that it doesn't matter. Mike Mularkey said it very well in a press conference a few weeks ago, that while things were going bad, Mariota's coming to the sidelines. And, I mean, we're not head coaches. We don't know. But guessing as a head coach, you're wondering, I wonder how my rookie's taking this. He's getting his ass kicked. This is bad. And Mariota came to the sidelines. Mularkey said he just had that look. I was going to say something to him, and he just had this look like, it's all right, I got it. And so I left the kid alone. So he left him alone. And his composure, his ability to just continue to stay focused and not get phased, that's got to come from winning. But deep down, John, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because you ask yourself, okay, it's his rookie season, so he's got to take what he gets. But when you go into year 2 and year 3, the Titans can't continue making the mistakes they've made throughout the years with their draft picks, because now the kid starts to ask, what are you going to surround me with? Why am I here? So now he's having a good rookie season. Down the line, John, next year and the year after, that's when you see what he's really made of, and also what the Titans are made of, especially with the direction they made. What direction are they going in? Are they selling? Are they not? Who's going to be the GM? Does the GM stay? Who's going to be the new head coach? Did Mularkey earn the no, probably not. So again, this kid's going to go into his second season with a big fat question mark. The only thing he's got on him is, hey, I'm a winner, I know how to win, and I'm just going to have to be patient at this level.
And Ralph, you talk about Marcus Mariota and his playmaking ability that he's shown this season, but he's really not getting much help from his teammates. So what do you think about him and his offense and the guys around him who, except for maybe Delaney Walker, who's pretty much, I think, the only guy I think you really need to pay attention to as far as the Patriots are concerned? What do you think about these other guys guys, and how much have they helped or not helped this year?
Now, that comes from two places. First, that comes from coaching. That comes from coaching a kid when he's a kid all the way up to the NFL, and having the kid understand to remember that you are not bigger than this game. It's about team. So you guys have to work together as a unit. Example, that team up in New England somewhere, doesn't matter who comes in. We have a system, and the system is first. So when that doesn't work, it's broken. Secondly, it comes from a player inside. I mean, a player's gonna want to have to do it if you don't want to. And this all got broken when Ken Wisenhunt, of course, things got bad for him fast, and it continued to get worse. But he basically signed his death warrant here in Tennessee when he refused, A, to accept responsibility, B, to even think about making any changes to his offense. He kept stubbornly sticking with his point that this is the way I work. It's worked before, and it will work again. Now, buddy, when you are 4-33, or whatever that was, everybody else is getting the message, and you're not. So the system wasn't tailored to Mariota. The offense, which has no weapons, cannot be. What are they going to do? It's different. It's something when you have a football team that has something. Dexter McCluster had his heyday. Of course, he's injured now. Who do you have in the backfield? You have Antonio Andrews, okay, an unheralded kid who's trying to make his mark. That's not a weapon. Delaney Walker's the only thing there. Kendall Walker, somehow the system has failed Kendall, or Kendall's not interested in the system, or the system doesn't work for Kendall. So everything's broken here. The offensive line, what do you have? You have Chance Warmack from Alabama, and you have Taylor Lewan. That's your foundation right there. Okay, Warmack's getting it. Lewan's still getting it. And the other guys is all it because they've been interchangeable pieces because of failure to perform an injury. So this team hasn't had a chance to have an offense to work, and what malarkey was handed to him by Wisenhunt, was so broken, he's just doing a patchwork job for the end of the season.
You want to jump in here?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Ralph about Dorial Greenbackham had a really good game against Jacksonville a couple weeks back, but overall, I guess you could say his first year in the NFL hasn't exactly been a success. But do you see potential for him to be a big play guy down the road, or is this somebody who probably isn't going to be that big in the NFL?
Well, again, that when you talk about him with DGB, it's from within. This kid, when you're that tall, when you've seen him make the plays in college, but he had the same issues in college, which is, again, within, wanting to, knowing how to do the right things, what not to do, where to stay. And this, his hands, questionable. His route running, it's as if, how long does it take for you to understand? What is it that you don't? The offense gets simplified for him, yet he still can't get it. Potential is there. You can't be 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", have that kind of size, and have played the game for so many years, and how long does it take? So the problem with him, number one, is for him to process. Is it too much for him to process? I mean, these guys come college stars. They're stars in college. When they come to the NFL, we all know it's a playbook, baby. You got to know the playbook. You don't know the playbook, you're up a creek with no paddle. What happens? You can't run a route. You don't hit the right hole. You don't know the play, and you don't know where to line up. And this kid's got to work through those issues as well as finding a way to understand. He had that big game, 5 receptions, 119 yards, and a touchdown, and people started talking, slow down. It's one game. It was 5 receptions. It's the potential's there. Yes, if the kid wakes up one morning and says, you know what, that's it. Today's the day I figure it out. Then, man, this kid got potential.
John, what about you?
Well, since Ralph has depressed us with the Tennessee Titans story, which is really obviously not a very good one, for those of us here in New England that haven't seen much of Marcus Mariota, what can we expect to see on Sunday?
Mariota. What can you expect to see on Sunday from Mariota and the Titans?
Well, just from him in particular. I mean, there are a lot of people up here that when he was in college and playing at Oregon, a lot of late night games on Saturday nights, and so I'm sure that a lot of Patriots fans never really stayed up to watch him play. They probably got a glimpse of him in the college football playoffs last year, but that really would have been their first taste of him. What does he bring on a football football field when he puts the pads on a weekend basis.
Well, what you're going to get from Marcus Mariota, you said that real good, because everybody remembers college, and remember again, spread offense, shotgun, read option. This is the NFL. What you're going to see in Marcus Mariota is a young man who does know how to play quarterback from under center. You're going to see a young man that knows how to drop back and knows his pocket, still learning, but knows his pocket, knows his reads. You see his eyes, and you can see his read